Chapter 10. Fire in the Courtyard. Ammiel sprinted into the corridor, smoke already curling beneath the doorframes. Guards shouted orders, their voices swallowed by the roar of flames. The eastern courtyard, the one closest to the armory, was engulfed. This is no accident. Ammiel's heart hammered. He raced toward the throne room, dodging servants and soldiers. "Boy!" a guard shouted. "Get to safety!" But Ammiel shook his head. "The king! I must find the king!" He pushed through the chaos until he burst into the throne room. David was already there, sword in hand, surrounded by Benaiah and the royal guard. "Ammiel?" David's eyes widened. "Why are you here?" "The fire, it's spreading toward the armory." Benaiah cursed under his breath. "If the flames reach the oil stores..." David cut him off. "We cannot let the palace fall. Benaiah, take half the guard to the courtyard. The rest will secure the armory." Benaiah nodded sharply and sprinted out. David turned to Ammiel. You stay close." Ammiel swallowed hard. "Yes, my king." Chapter 11. The Saboteur. The heat intensified as they approached the courtyard. Smoke stung Ammiel's eyes, but he pressed on beside the king. Guards formed a chain, passing buckets of water from the well. Others hacked at burning beams, trying to stop the spread. David surveyed the flames, jaw clenched. This fire was set deliberately. Ammiel nodded. "The conspirators!" A shout cut through the chaos. "My king! Someone is in the armory!" David's eyes narrowed. "Ammiel, with me!" They sprinted toward the armory. Smoke billowed from beneath the door. David kicked it open. Inside, a hooded figure was pouring oil over crates of weapons. David raised his sword. "Stop!" The figure spun, dagger flashing. David parried the strike with practiced ease. Ammiel froze, heart pounding. The hooded man lunged again, but David sidestepped, grabbed his arm, and slammed him against the wall. The hood fell back. Ammiel gasped. It was the third conspirator, the one he hadn't recognized. David pressed the blade to the man's throat. "Why betray your king?" The man spat blood. "You are weak. Israel needs a ruler who does not bow to tribes and prophets." David's eyes hardened. Israel needs a ruler who bows to God. The man snarled and reached for a hidden blade, but David struck first, knocking him unconscious. He turned to Ammiel. "Fetch Benaiah." "Now." Ammiel ran. Chapter 12. The King Who Fights. By dawn, the fire was extinguished. The conspirators were imprisoned. The palace was scarred, but still standing. Ammiel sat on the steps outside the Hall of Records, exhausted. His clothes were singed, his hands blistered, his lungs raw from smoke. David approached quietly. "You fought bravely," he said. Ammiel shook his head. "I was afraid." David sat beside him. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is choosing to act despite it. Ammiel looked at him. "My king, why do people betray you? You are righteous. You walk with God." David's expression grew distant. "Ammiel, righteousness does not shield a man from envy. Integrity does not silence ambition. Love does not prevent rebellion." He sighed. "When I was young, I thought ruling meant defeating enemies. But the hardest battles are not fought with swords. They are fought in the hearts of men." Ammiel absorbed the words. David placed a hand on his shoulder. "You saw the truth tonight. A king must be strong, but strength without God becomes cruelty. A king must be merciful, but mercy without justice becomes weakness." He looked toward the rising sun. A king must walk with God, or he will lose himself. Ammiel felt a deep reverence settle over him. Chapter 13. The Council of Reckoning. Later that morning, the royal council gathered. The conspirators were brought before the king, bound, bruised, and silent. David stood, his presence commanding. "You sought to burn the palace. You sought to divide the tribes. You sought to overthrow the throne God established." Shobai glared. "You are unfit to rule." David stepped closer. "If I am unfit, let God remove me. But you sought to remove God's order." Rechem spat at the floor. "Your mercy makes you weak." David's voice dropped to a dangerous calm. Mercy is not weakness. Mercy is strength restrained. He turned to Benaiah. Take them away. The conspirators were dragged out. The council murmured anxiously. David raised a hand. Hear me. The kingdom will not be ruled by fear. We will not become like the nations around us. We will walk in righteousness, justice, and the fear of the Lord. He looked at Ammiel, a small gesture, but one that did not go unnoticed. Ammiel felt a surge of pride. Chapter 14, The King's Shadow. That evening, David summoned Ammiel to the rooftop garden, a quiet place overlooking the city. The air was cool. Lanterns flickered in the breeze. David stood at the edge, gazing at Jerusalem. Ammiel, he said softly, do you know why I chose you as my apprentice? Ammiel hesitated. Because my father is a scribe? David shook his head. No, I chose you because you see truth. You listen. You fear God. He turned to face him. A king needs warriors, counselors, commanders, but he also needs someone who sees what others overlook. Someone who watches the shadows. Ammiel swallowed. My king, I am only a boy. David smiled. So was I when God called me. He placed a hand on Ammiel's shoulder. You will serve this kingdom well. Not because you are strong, but because you are faithful. Ammiel felt tears sting his eyes. David looked back over the city. Remember this, Ammiel. A king is only as strong as the truth he surrounds himself with. And truth often comes from unexpected places. Ammiel nodded, heart full. He understood now. He was not merely a scribe. He was the king's shadow, the quiet witness, the unseen guardian, the keeper of truth. And his journey had only begun.